Improving your diet is one of the most important things you can do to improve your overall health. For most people, this means avoiding sugary, fatty and fast foods, as well as foods that are difficult for your body to process. Taking these steps will improve your health, lower your risk of certain diseases and increase your body's stress levels. However, there's another reason to be cautious about the foods you eat. Certain foods contain potentially dangerous compounds like acrylamide. This carcinogenic compound is found in many common foods and can be catastrophic to your health and worsen chronic conditions like adrenal fatigue. Acrylamide is a chemical compound often used to produce plastics and to purify drinking water. Basically, it's used most often in industrial processes. However, evidence now shows acrylamide can be present in certain cooked foods. The compound is created during high-temperature cooking of starchy foods, when sugars and a particular type of amino acid are combined, and this can pose significant problems for humans, since studies performed on rodents have shown repeated exposure to high levels of this compound can cause cancer. In rodent models, acrylamide is converted to glycidamide, a compound that causes DNA damage and mutations. Because human studies have relied on self-reported estimates of the acrylamide intake until additional research is performed, avoiding the compound as much as possible would appear to be the safest option. To create this compound in food, a number of conditions have to be met. The acrylamide is most often found in starchy foods that are cooked at high temperatures, above 250 degrees Fahrenheit. The cooking method is also important. Baking, broiling, frying and roasting are more likely to cause acrylamide to form compared to stewing and microwaving. Basically, if you're cooking food at high temperature for a long time, it's far more likely you'll find this compound in your food. Certain types of extremely common food are much more likely to contain acrylamide than others, including French fries. These contain around 100 times the maximum safe amount set by the World Health Organization for drinking water. Potato chips contain 500 times the maximum allowable amount for water. Pringles contain 25 micrograms per serving. Honey Nut Cheerios contain about 6 micrograms per serving. Other foods that can contain the acrylamide when overcooked include bread, rice, cereals and biscuits. What this means is being aware of what you're eating is extremely important, as well as how the food is prepared. Completely removing this food from your diet can be tough and can take a bit of effort, but it's well worth it. Not only do you eliminate the associated health risks, but you also improve your health in other ways. Many of the foods that contain acrylamide, like biscuits and French fries, are also rich in trans fats, an extremely dangerous type of oil used mostly for preparing deep-fried and processed foods. The trans fats are strongly linked to cancers, heart disease, diabetes and obesity. To avoid trans fats as well as acrylamide, you need to eliminate processed and fast foods from your diet. If you need to deep fry at home, avoid using polyunsaturated or non-unsaturated fats like corn oil or olive oil, because the heat can change these fats into trans fats. Instead, use coconut oil, since it doesn't react in the same way to heat. Avoid overcooking starchy foods and try to eat raw, whole foods whenever possible. This is a much healthier way to eat, and it won't only improve your overall health, but it will also lower your risk of certain diseases. If you suffer from adrenal fatigue syndrome, eating this way can lower your body's stress levels, and since it won't have to contend with the toxic food, your body will be able to heal. At present, stress is one of the most serious health risks in the world. Modern lifestyles contain countless stressors, from work stress and relationships to physical and environmental stressors. It wasn't always this way. In the distant past, there were very few sources of stress, and most of them were physical and short-lived. To cope with stress, your body developed what's known as the neuroendometabolic stress response system, and this prepares your body to fight or flee in response to stress, essentially keeping you safe. However, problems can arise when stress becomes chronic. The adrenal glands are a key component of the neuroendometabolic stress response, and they produce the stress hormone cortisol. This hormone gives you the energy and the alertness that you need to fight or flee an immediate threat. But your body can't differentiate between short-term, life-threatening stressors and long-term stress. As a result, it reacts in the same way to non-life-threatening stressors of the modern world. When you experience chronic stress, your neuroendometabolic stress response continuously triggers, and this releases more and more cortisol. This places a huge amount of pressure on your adrenal glands, and they eventually become fatigued, and this can lead to adrenal fatigue syndrome. The adrenal fatigue is not well understood, but is typically characterized by multi-system involvement and a number of baffling symptoms that are often mistaken for other conditions or ignored. Unfortunately, this usually causes additional stress, which further fatigues your adrenal glands, and if left unaddressed, can eventually lead to a full body shutdown. Healing from adrenal fatigue means removing sources of stress and nourishing the body. A big part of this is re-evaluating your diet, and foods that are toxic or don't adequately nourish the body should be reduced or eliminated completely, because they'll only increase the stress and worsen the adrenal fatigue symptoms. And this leads to additional health problems. Food that contains acrylamide should also be eliminated. If you're suffering from adrenal fatigue, foods that contain this toxic compound will increase the toxicity in your body. And trans fats and other substances will also contribute to worsening your condition. If you're suffering from adrenal fatigue syndrome, the 6 interconnected circuits in the body, each made up of a variety of organs and tissues, will eventually become unbalanced. When you're eating healthy, these circuits work together to perform their tasks and to keep the body functioning normally. However, when your adrenals become fatigued, the dysfunction of these circuits, as well as with individual organs and tissues, can occur. The detoxification circuit is comprised of the immune system, the liver, and the extracellular matrix, and it's an integral part of the body and has a number of essential duties. These include removing toxins, bacteria, viruses, metabolites, and other potentially dangerous substances from the body. This circuit can become unbalanced if you're suffering from adrenal fatigue syndrome, and this can mean the immune system, liver, and the extracellular matrix will also stop functioning properly, and this can lead to toxic buildup. If this occurs, you can experience some very frightening symptoms related to the increased toxic load on your body. If your diet is poor, this naturally causes problems with the detoxification circuit, since you have to eliminate these unhealthy substances from your body. But if you already experienced detoxification circuit dysfunction as a result of the adrenal fatigue syndrome, these symptoms will be compounded. One major problem with the way that people eat today is the number of toxins and unhealthy substances present in the food. If your detoxification circuit isn't functioning properly, the unhealthy chemicals and compounds can build up in your system, and this can lead to poor overall health and other health-related conditions. So if you're suffering from adrenal fatigue and you continue to eat foods that contain acrylamide, this will probably cause your body more problems than those on a healthy diet. This is a serious problem owing to the link between acrylamide and cancer. Because if your body is unable to detoxify itself, this compound will build up in your system and serious problems will start to occur. If you're suffering from adrenal fatigue, make sure to eliminate food that potentially contains this compound. Acrylamide is a potentially toxic substance and it's found in a variety of common foods. Some of these foods are also bad for your health in general, which is why you should eliminate them or at least minimize their intake. Recent findings have made this absolutely vital. If you want to stay healthy and to heal your body from certain conditions and disorders, consuming this compound will hinder your efforts and create even more problems. So if you want to be healthy and happy, make sure you know which foods contain acrylamide and eliminate them from your diet. To book a consultation or to learn about herbs, supplements and natural treatments, check out my website.